From beautiful Palm Springs at historic Palm Springs Stadium, Mitch Glessner alongside Andres Tejeda. Game 2 action here. It'll be the Lumberjacks taking on the Grizzly. The Lumberjacks will be the visiting team. We are underway here. Just a shade past 12:30 here, local time, Pacific time that is. And the batter here is Spencer Kean, taking a slider, just misses outside for a ball. Mitchell Sanger will be the starter on the hill for the Grizzly. Left-handed pitcher from Boca Raton, Florida. 6'6", 225-pounder. As this ball is hit back up the middle, not hit hard at all. Daisuke Fukuda, the second baseman, unable to make the play. That'll go down as an error there. First batter of the ballgame was Chris Baker, and he actually tried to lay down a bunt for a base hit, and that is the first time that we have seen anybody show a bunt and actually successfully put one down here in the California Winter League. Bunted it over to first baseman Nick Kreutzer, who made the unassisted play for the first out. Spencer Kean aboard after the error there, and now the batter will be Nick Jimbalvo. So an early error here in the ball game, as Jimbalvo will bat, the right-handed hitter. Hits this one into right center field, giving chase out there. On a dive is Lippman. Hits off the glove, and he doesn't make the play. Bouncing to Lawler, who now brings it into the cut man. Shallow center, now the cutoff to third base, and it is not in time. That is going to be a triple for Nick Jimbalvo. And just like that, the Oregon Lumberjacks are on the board here early on after an RBI triple off the bat of Nick Jimbalvo. Jimbalvo is a switch hitter, and with Sanger on the mound, the lefty, he hit from the right side there, and he showed off some good opposite field power. The other day, he showed it from both sides of the plate in the same game. I believe that was yesterday. And now the batter will be Jesse Russo. So an early lead here for the Lumberjacks. 1-0 our score here early on in the top half of the first. Big swing and a miss here from Jesse Russo. Russo, another left-handed bat, will be in center field today. Russo from Westbury, New York. 6 foot, 215 pounds for the 25-year-old as he hits this ball foul. On the mound again, Mitchell Sanger, one of the better starters in this league.
So what happens? I have the error in the post count here.
As he awaits, comes set here, hands high, fastball up and in. There's some chin music there for Jesse Russo. Good fastball for Mitchell Sanger. He'll run it up into the low 90s. Long, lanky lefty. Works pretty quickly on the hill. This slider well behind Russo. That pitch really got away from him there as he covers up home plate in case Jimbalvo decided to take off. So the count will be full. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out, and a runner already at third in Jimbalvo after the big triple and an RBI. Sanger working on his 6 games started this year in 5 starts so far. He's only allowed 5 earned runs, 5 walks, and 12 strikeouts. Here's the pitch. 3-2 is inside. Wild there to Russo after he swept the slider around him the pitch before. This time he hits Russo inside, and runners will be at the corners now with just 1 out here in the top half of the first. Sanger will bring a fastball, curveball, slider, and changeup. Former All-American Ad Stetson, preseason pitcher of the year Ad Stetson, and Golden Spikes watch list candidate. Golden Spikes award going to the best college player in the country. There's a pitch here to Dontavius Dickey, who stands in from the right side. Runners at the corners, and ball 1. 1-0 the count. So an early triple to get the Lumberjacks on the board as Dickey hits this ball foul. And Mitchell Sanger actually found out about this league through the Tyler Matzik story. One of the better stories. Tyler Matzik, the World Series champion for the Atlanta Braves, pitched here just a couple of years ago, going through some challenging times as he was working through the yips. And he made his way out here, got some good work in. Great success story there. This ball is shot into center field, and not able to make the play is Lippman. That's going to be an error. Scoring from third is Jim Balvo easily. Russo had to hold up at first to make sure that the ball was caught. It was not caught, and in turn, it's going to be an error on the center fielder. Another run across. Jim Balvo scores the second run of the ball game. Russo moves up to third, and Dickey is now at second after the error by the center fielder.
Yeah, just a messy start for the Grizzly. This inning should have been long over with the ground ball to Fukuda, and now the line out to Lippman. We should be seeing the Grizzly batting right now.
So 2 early errors here in this game, and the Lumberjacks out to a 2-0 lead as Omar Ortiz Vasquez digs in. He'll be the designated hitter today. Typically, he's behind the dish in the catcher role, asking for time in the box. So Sanger in a little bit of a rough going, not getting any help from his defense out there. The lefty brings a hard fastball in the outer corner for a strike. No balls and 2 strikes to Vasquez. Sanger has probably one of the better sliders here at the California Winter League. Real sharp bite to it as he brings a fastball high, and it misses.
You're going to get a lot of broken bats if you're a righty trying to swing at a fastball when it looks like one, then it comes and breaks it on the hands.
So Sanger trying to work out of a jam. Just one down here, runners at second and third. Vasquez will see an 0-2. This pitch is hit into right field, and right at the right fielder, that's Sean Lawler, tagging up and moving both bases up. That is Dontavius Dickey moving to third where the throw came in. Jesse Russo scores easily on the sacrifice fly. Just like that, it is 3-0 here in the top half of the first.
Lawler had an incredible toss from right field to third. It was very close if he had made the throw on a line. The third baseman, Anthony Mcdougall, had to come off of third base, nearing the outfield a little bit. But it was a close toss. He may have gotten it right before the run could have scored to get out with just 2 runs in the inning.
So a rough going here early on for the Grizzly. Started out really well with Chris Baker grounding the bunt for base hit over to the first baseman, Nick Kreutzer. Then an error by Kean, and all the momentum has stuck with the Lumberjacks. 3-0 our score with 2 outs. Sanger trying to get out of it, trying to keep Dontavius Dickey over there at third base. Mitchell Sanger also pitched a little bit in the Mets organization. That was back in 2019.
A lot of guys here, a lot of experience. Pro ball, indie ball.
Pitched in 13 games in rookie ball. He was selected in round 26. He was the 778th overall pick in that draft. Batter here, Killian Bloat in a 1-1 count. 2 down, runner at third. Sanger not the greatest numbers in the rookie affiliate for the Mets. 1-0 in those 13 games, a 12.46 ERA, and only 8 2/3 innings of work though, but nonetheless, it's an achievement in itself to get to that level of baseball, something very few players are ever able to do in their careers, as Killian Bloat will head down to first.
Absolutely. Getting that experience at a rookie affiliate with a historic franchise like the Mets. Obviously not exactly what they were looking for. The numbers speak for themselves, but he's been one of the top pitchers here at the Cal Winter League.
And when you head out to spring training, Andres, have had some time, whether it was being with a fan and 2020 working for the Los Angeles Angels, as this ball is hit off to the right side foul off the bat of Mendoza. I was down there at their rookie camp or their minor league camp for the Angels in 2020 right before COVID hit. And most of our roles we were running some of the high-speed cameras and the bullpen work. And I got to tell you, being around that much talent in one little spot, and
absolutely.
all of these guys are competing for a job. It was a very humbling experience. Obviously, was only there very shortly with COVID, but all of these guys, just big league arm talent, and they're all competing for a job. So,
Need to see Shohei out there?
did not, as this ball is hit off to the right side, foul. Did not get to see any of the big league guys. Saw some of the better, prospects for the Angels. Again, it was just minor league camp. But Mitchell Sanger definitely fits that mold. Looks exactly like some of those guys. Boy, it was competitive in those bullpen workouts.
Well, I believe it, yeah.
Pitching coaches and managers for all the affiliates, hounding on him to throw strikes as this ball is grounded back up the middle, backhanded by the second baseman Daisuke Fukuda, who will go the short way, feeding it to Nick Israel at second for the third out. So not what the Grizzly were hoping for in this start, as they are out to an early deficit of 3-0. The Lumberjacks lead it as we will go to the bottom of the first here in Palm Springs. We go to the bottom half of the first. 3-0 is our score in favor of the Lumberjacks. Jack Silva will be the starter today. The lefty brings this pitch into Alex Lippman, whose first pitch check swinging down the line on the third base side, and Silva comes off the hill, fields his position well, and makes the play. Showing some athleticism. Hey, who said that pitchers are not athletes?
Absolutely. He jumped off the mound, and you know what? If he doesn't, that's basically a bunt in no man's land, and that's an infield single.
So Alex Lippman is a quick out there for the first out, bottom half of the first. And Jack Silva will pitch with the 3-run lead as DC Russ stands in from the right side. The lefty will deal the first pitch there. Rolls it over to the third baseman over there. Fields it on a hop is Russo, and a clean play from the third baseman there. 2 pitches and 2 outs here in the bottom of the first.
I'd like to see it happen, but we'll have to see.
We will see here.
Lawler's first pitch swinging here.
Pretty dangerous hitter in Sean Lawler. Got some numbers on Jack Silva. This will be his 5th game started. He has a 1-3 record in 18 2/3 innings of work. 17 strikeouts, has allowed 10 walks, 14 hits allowed. Not terrible ERA numbers at 3.37. But the Lumberjacks, one of those teams that has struggled a little bit defensively, not being able to help out their arms on the mound. It will be a 1-0 to Sean Lawler, the lefty, now takes a strike. 1 ball and 1 strike.
The Lumberjacks coming in 3rd place at 6-6 and even 500, taking on the Grizzly right underneath them at 5-5-1.
Last time out for Jack Silva was on February 3rd against the Power, and they would lose that game 3-4 in a tight one. 4 and a third of work for Silva in that one. He's given 2 efforts of 5 innings of work. This pitch barely misses here to Sean Lawler, the hitter.
Not only that, the last time the Jacks were out here, they played the Bombers, and boy, what a game that was. The walk-off 3-run homer by Clifford Pratt in center field.
Yeah, we had a really exciting day yesterday between Joseph Scamboluri's magnificent start in Game 1 where he had 12 strikeouts. Probably the best pitcher here in the California Winter League. He would improve his record. And then the walk-off win for the Bombers in Game 2 of yesterday's matchup. Lawler fights this one off to the left side. And Clifford Pratt, of all people, the guy who usually works his way on by way of walking, showed the big blast in the bottom of the 7th to walk it off.
Which you wouldn't have expected, as you said, Clifford Pratt to do so. I mean, you got Griffin Schneider, Jacob Cruz, all on that team. Those guys are you're expecting, that's going to be the hero, the walk-off guy. Clifford Pratt just comes in and hits one to deep center field and ends it.
This one is lifted high into center field. Chris Baker with the shades on. 2 hands for safety as he makes the play in dead-away center field. So that'll do it for the Grizzly. Nothing doing for them. No hits, no runs. And we will go to the second here with the Oregon Lumberjacks off to an early lead. 3-0 is our score. Here we go to the second inning. It'll be Adrian Sanchez, the 9-hole hitter, to lead it off for the Lumberjacks. 9-1-2 scheduled up here in the second as Mitchell Singer goes back to work. Working through a couple of defensive miscues in the first inning. 2 errors from his defense behind him. And the Lumberjacks would score their 3 runs. With some of the help from those errors, they would also get a triple from Nick Gimbalvo. Here's a strike thrown to Adrian Sanchez. Left-handed hitter, good speed for Sanchez. Stands in at just 5'10", 165 pounds. Check swing, foul ball. He didn't mean to go there, but he did. 24 years of age for Sanchez from Bell Gardens, California. And something that we're going to try to highlight moving forward is how many international players we have here, Andres, and saying that Sanchez from California. We do have a lot of California natives out here, but we also have people from all over the country. Texas, a big state represented here. New York as well. Just kind of looking down the rundown of the Jacks.
Yeah, I think we have a lot
Colorado.
more, he went down swinging. That was a hack.
Yep, swing and a miss there from Sanchez for the first out. First strikeout of the day for Mitchell Singer as well.
I think we have a lot more East and West Coast guys than we do Midwest guys. It's like you and I are from Kansas and Illinois, but I've noticed more of the coastal guys coming out here.
Yeah, a lot of Florida guys as well. Talking about those international players, we have 5 players represented from Canada. Juan Martinez represents Cuba.
He had to win in the game earlier
Yes,
today.
he did. He pitched really well in that game. Lenny Peters represents Curacao. We have 8 players from Japan, 1 player from Nicaragua, 1 from Puerto Rico, and 2 from Taiwan.
And that Puerto Rican Omar Ortiz Vasquez, he had the, I think, quickest pop time at the camp, the MLB camp back on the 20th of January.
Here's a foul ball off the bat of Chris Baker. Count will be 2 balls and a strike, 1 out. Here in the top half of the second, Chris Baker is 0 for 1. Tried to bunt for a base hit his first time around, and it went right to Kreutzer, a little bit too firm. The first baseman picked it up and made the play. In a hitter's count here, though, at 3 balls and 1 strike.
Omar Ortiz is the DH today, usually behind the plate, but he's had a lot of work in yesterday's game. As we had the good pitching matchup at the first game, the second game, not so much.
So 3 balls and a strike, Baker in a good hitter's count. The lefty in the leadoff role, but he swings like he's a cleanup hitter. And here he does swing like that. Deep into right center field. It is off the wall. That ball was torched out there to right field. And it'll be an easy double for Chris Baker, who comes in standing with a double.
I've been saying if these walls were just a little bit shorter, we would have home run derbies every day. These guys are drilling them into the wall.
Yeah, I don't know if we have an official foot count on the wall out there, but I would say it's probably at least, I was going to say probably 12. 14 maybe be a little too tall, but probably right around 12 to 13-ish.
Yeah, I'm usually seeing 8-foot walls at the big league level where you can make those, over the wall catches, but these are tall walls out there.
Yeah, you'd need a vertical leap of John Morant to go up there and get one. Although I'm sure Ken Griffey Jr. could probably do it back in his heyday.
Can do whatever he wants.
Yeah. Maybe Bo Jackson as well.
He'd climb the wall.
Oh, yeah.
He'd walk. No, not climb. He'd walk up the wall.
Love the famous clip of Bo Jackson, who does the Spider-Man run back for the Kansas City Royals. 1 ball, 1 strike count here to Spencer Kean. The right-hander swings and hits this ball foul. He'll be in the hole 1 and 2. 1 down, a runner at second here in the top half of the second inning. 3-0, the Lumberjacks lead it. Yeah, Bo knows, possibly the greatest athlete of all time in terms of just pure athleticism. As Kean will await a 1-2. Swing and a miss, sweeping slider from Sanger. His second strikeout here in the second frame. And he's trying to keep Baker out there at second base, but he'll have to deal with Nick Jimbalvo, who will come to bat here. Great breaking stuff there from the lefty. Singer, again, just a lot of bite on that breaking ball.
Jimbalvo already with a hit. He had the RBI and a run.
Yeah, the big triple off the bat of the first baseman. He is a switch hitter, and he has shown his ability to hit from both sides exceptionally well. 6'2", 230 pounds. Also a California native. As they try to rub down the baseball, maybe for extra grip there.
That reminds me of the story I've heard. They had like all Major League Baseballs are seasoned with this special clay/mud. I don't know if we do that here at the Cal Winter League.
So that mud I believe, I'll have to fact check this. I believe it comes from the Mississippi.
Yes, it comes from one specific spot off the river.
Yes, it is a specific part of the river. It's actually pretty incredible. They have people that work at the MLB games that their one job is to rub down baseballs. I think they rub down, it's somewhere in between like 12 dozen or something like that a game.
Yeah, and you go through a lot of baseballs.
This ball is fouled away off the bat of Jim Balvo, who hits on a 1-2 count. 2 down, runner at second.
Actually, it's not the Mississippi River, it's the Delaware River.
Okay. Yeah, for whatever reason, when I said Mississippi, I wanted to say, I'm not 100% on that. Here's a ball shot past the third baseman, Mcdougall, who went to a knee to try to pick it up. Corralling it is DC Russ down the line and left. It'll be another double here in the inning, and scoring on the play easily was Chris Baker. It's an RBI for Jim Balvo, and another extra base hit here in the second.
He's got probably two of the hardest parts of the cycle down. He's just got to get that hit over the wall now. And a single. Not too bad.
We'll see what he can do. Off to a great start. That is the third hit of the game for the Lumberjacks. They're out to a 4-0 lead as Jesse Russo goes after the first pitch and hits it foul. I'd be curious to find out why it's off of the Delaware River. One specific spot. To answer your question about what we use here at the California Winter League, the Singer will bring a slider. Wow, good break to that pitch. Freezes up Russo for strike 2. To answer your question on that front, Andres, I was out here in the summertime, as you know, as a clubby. So that was part of our roles to rub down the baseballs, and we would just do it the old-fashioned way. We'd go out, basically just right out in front of the dugouts, grab some dirt, and then just add some water to it.
Yep.
And, that did the job just well enough, obviously. For these guys, it doesn't need to be super crazy official. As this pitch is swung on and missed. So Mitchell Singer strikes out the side. His third strikeout on the sweeping slider to get Jesse Russo. And that'll do it for the Lumberjacks there in the second. 4-0 is our score as we go to the home half of the second here in Palm Springs. We go to the bottom half of the second with the Lumberjacks out in front 4-0 is our score. 4 runs for them on 3 hits. Nick Jimbalvo off to a hot start offensively for the Lumberjacks. 2 extra base hits. This will be the Grizzlies' turn here, though. Down by 4. Nick Kreutzer will stand in. He's in the cleanup spot today, and he takes ball 1. In the first inning, the Grizzly went down 1-2-3, and a nice clean inning from the lefty Jack Silva on the mound. And of all things, me and Andres having conversation about mud during a baseball game. It is baseball related, as Kreutzer has a base hit to right field. Hard hit there, gets by the diving second baseman Spencer Kean. So first hit of the ball game for the Grizzly, and they've got something cooking here in the second.
And so this mud, it's called Luna Blackburn baseball rubbing mud. It's the only mud that Major League Baseball has used, although they've been trying to work with Rawlings to eliminate it. But apparently, the rule book says that each ball, Major League official rule book says that each ball must be, quote, properly rubbed so the gloss is removed, end quote, on the baseball. And so, as you said, the clubhouse attendants rub the balls each night with that mud that comes off of the Delaware River on the Jersey side and the Jersey Shore. But yeah, you were telling me that the cans of mud are fairly a hefty price.
Yes, they are. For a little tin of mud, it's going to run you about $50 or $60. I think it's kind of interesting how they let the public buy it. 1-1 count here to Nick Israel. Runner at first is Kreutzer, nobody out. And Israel awaits. Here's a pitch from Silva. Misses outside, 2 balls and a strike.
And the man who's in charge of finding this magic mud, his name is Jim Bintliff. He harvests muds from secret locations down the Delaware River in South Jersey and sells it to Major League Baseball so that the pitchers can get a better grip. And with the whole idea of sticky substances and the other things that pitchers use, this is the only, quote, foreign substance that Major League Baseball allows to be used on their baseballs.
Foul ball off the bat of Nick Israel. 2 balls and 2 strikes is our count, nobody out. Runner at first is Kreutzer after the leadoff single. And that has been a hot topic really in the last 5 or so years, talking about the baseballs in general that MLB uses. This pitch misses on the breaking stuff. It'll be a full count. And there have been articles written and people doing investigations as far as how the baseballs have changed over time. Silva takes a long look, and now he's going to check on the runner. Not his best move there, but he wants to give Kreutzer a look. Articles being written about the construction of the baseball and how much yarn and things like that are used inside of them as it's changed over the years. This ball is ripped foul. It is a very interesting topic, and people started debating this when the pitchers first started noticing. They noticed a difference. I remember, I think it was Scherzer, who was like, you know what, this just doesn't feel the same.
Yeah.
And then the home run numbers were very inflated. We've seen the most home runs in the last couple of years. Feels like the record gets broken every year.
Oh, yeah. I think that started with Giancarlo Stanton hitting the 50-plus home runs in, it was like 2015, 2016. Just a monster year for a lot of hitters, a lot of power hitters.
Here's a walk to Nick Israel. The breaking ball just barely missing on the outer corner. Looks like it might have clipped the corner, but Silva doesn't get the call. So there will be runners at first and second here. Nobody out in the bottom half of the second. Grizzly trail it 4-0. Silva brings the first pitch here to Daisuke Fukuda, and it's going to scoot by the catcher Mendoza on the wild pitch. Runners will move up a base.
And the other thing that the pitchers have been noticing is that Major League Baseball, it seems like every year, allegedly, has been changing the type of baseball they use. Either they're more weighted, they're more lighter, and that's been the huge thing that pitchers, and I think Trevor Bauer's the one who kind of brought light to it years ago. No one really paid attention to him. He was a relief pitcher on the Indian staff.
Here's a ground ball up the middle. Good play there by Sanchez. The ball took a bad hop, getting a fist bump by his partner over there, Spencer Kean, to hang with the play. And he does make the play. A run will cross, though. Kreutzer scores the first run for the Grizzly. Moving up to third was Nick Israel. And there is one away here. The runner's still at third. The Grizzly have now plated a run. It's 4-1 in the ballgame.
That being Bauer making the claim for it. Currently, still, I'm not exactly sure what his current situation is with Major League Baseball, but that's neither here nor there. But he was the one who called out Major League Baseball for the different types of balls being used at the different levels.
The ball that we use here for California Winter League definitely has some raised seams to it. There's a pitch in and a foul ball off the bat of Anthony Mcdougall. Good power in the bat for the righty. Raised seams typically means that the ball is not going to carry as far. because spinning in the air with those raised seams, it's going to kind of knock it down. But usually it works better for the pitchers. Those raised seams can allow them to grip the baseball a little bit better. Mcdougall hits here with 2 strikes, 1 out, pitch on the way upstairs. Silva took something off. Mcdougall smiling as he takes the pitch. Will be 1 ball and 2 strikes. Runner at third is Nick Israel. 90 feet away from scoring another run. 4-1 our score.
This run would cut the lead in half. And we had only 1 out here.
McDougall trying to put the ball in play any way he can. Chris Baker in center field shades over to the opposite way. This ball is lifted high in the air down the line and left, and it's going to drift foul. Baker showing off a little bit of the pop there. We saw some pop in the first game today.
Oh, yeah.
Another ball left the yard in game 1.
As you were telling me, like, I think as soon as I got here, that balls don't really fly through the air. That home run, probably a wall scraper. It barely got over the wall, but it was muscled out. It was just a great hit overall.
There's a pitch left upstairs. It'll be a ball. And now Mendoza comes out from behind the squat, and he's going to go talk to Silva on the mound for just a brief second, and he'll return back to his position. But yeah, typically the ball does not carry here, although the last few days, for whatever reason, the ball has just really flown in the air. Really hung up in the air as well. A lot of high fly balls as of late.
Yeah, that home run earlier coming from Xiao Pin Ho in the game between the Chill and A's. They won against the A's 9-1.
Swing and a miss here from Anthony Mcdougall. He is down on strikes. That is the first strikeout of the afternoon for Jack Silva. And now there are 2 down and a runner at third. Good pitch there on the off speed, as that'll bring up Travis Tanaka. They'll try to keep the inning extended. And looking to drive in Nick Israel over at third base.
Tanaka does have 5 RBIs in the year. Give him 6 with that base knock.
Laced into left center field, giving chases Dickey and Baker. Who's going to get there first? It's Baker. Picks it up off the base of the wall, brings it into the cut man Sanchez. It's an easy stand-up double for Travis Tanaka on the line drive into the left center gap.
Yeah, just give him that base, that double, RBI double there. And Tanaka, like I said, he can hit. He can definitely hit. That's only his second double on the year, but it brings the game down 4-2.
Yeah, we've talked a lot about Tanaka in the sense he's probably the most versatile catcher here. We've seen him play in the outfield and on the infield, as Cole Rankin will dig in. Not the look of your stereotypical 9-hole hitter, but that's usually where he hits. Good contact guy for his size, as he looks at ball 1 in the dirt. And usually a good candidate to hit the ball hard and give himself a chance. 1 ball and no strikes here. 2 outs, runner at second. Pitch on the way from Silva. Crushed into center field. That is going to hang up there for a long time. Baker awaits and finally squeezes it as it returns to earth for the 3rd out. So that'll do it there in the bottom half of the second. 1 run across, and the Grizzly at least have plated 2, as it is now 4-2. We'll go to the 3rd inning. go to the top half of the third. Mitch Glessner alongside Andres Tejeda here. In our second game of the day. Dontavius Dickey to bat here. The lead man swings and misses at the first pitch he sees from Mitchell Sanger. Sanger struck out the side his last time around in the second. 3 strikeouts for the lefty, although they do trail 4-2 early on. Sanger brings outside on a fastball. Sanger has been a little bit erratic with the fastball at times. Real good velocity to it, real good ride action as he pumps it in here inside. Foul ball off the bat of Dickey. But again, just not being able to command it consistently for strikes has kind of plagued him so far in the California Winter League.
Absolutely. Like you said, Sanger, he was signed before even coming out here.
Strike 3 looking there, freezes Dickey. And that'll be the 4th strikeout of the game for Sanger. 1 away here in the top of the third.
Sanger, like I said, signed before. He hasn't been performing at the level that he would like to, but the stuff is there. These guys, his team probably not the best defensively. A lot of errors that we saw in the first inning. He only has those first 3. I know did not count against him. That 4th run is going to count as an earned run. So it's just been a tough go for Sanger. I mean, honestly, I think this game should still be, 1-2 at least.
So Sanger pitches here to the righty, Omar Ortiz Vasquez. A sacrifice fly into right field his first time around. 4-2. Sanger will try to keep the Lumberjacks right where they're at and give his team a chance offensively to come back in this game. Here's a pitch here on a 1-1. Well outside, and again showing signs of that erratic fastball from Sanger. And like you mentioned though, Andres, some of the best stuff in the league from a pure stuff standpoint. Really spins the breaking ball well. I've already kind of highlighted how much it bites. Real sharp movement to it. Some of the other pitchers in this league, they have real kind of sweeping, slower breaking stuff. Sanger has probably the firmest slider out here. Definitely.
I think the only pitch that I can think of the top of my mind that has a better snap, although it does kind of float, is Martinez's 12-6 curveball. It comes down hard like a hammer, but it comes out of the hand very slow and then just drops.
Yeah, Scambaluri,
yes, that's
who had
another
the
one.
great start yesterday. He has a really good sweeping slider, but tons of horizontal movement. Mitchell Sanger's will just kind of dive and dart in a really sharp fashion, and here he's missing the zone against Omar Ortiz Vasquez, who's aboard with a walk and 1 away.
I love it. You already know this guy knows what he's doing. He's already talking to his infield, telling him where he wants him to go. He's looking for the double play ball here.
I was paying attention in game 1, Andres. I was having a field day over there to my right over by the PA, just paying attention to the A's and the Chill were both putting shifts on consistently. It was,
and they worked.
Yes,
it worked. How many putouts did we see up the middle? And McCabe out at second base getting the outs.
pretty amazing stuff there. I don't know if they're getting some of that information from Flight Scope on hit positioning, but I was getting a huge kick out of that. As you don't really see, even in college, you don't see a whole lot of guys shifting. You certainly don't really see it in independent ball, just because for the simple fact that they don't have the same resources as Major League Baseball, obviously, with all the hit locations and all the advanced technology. This ball is hit off to the right and foul. Killian Bloat, the batter, with one on at first base after Vasquez walked.
Yeah, see, with this, I use Game Changer for our books, and they give me a little season, like, scatter chart or sort of like a stats map for each hit, but even I wouldn't think about looking at that when a batter's up to, to the plate.
Very interesting stuff, and I'm kind of both of, best of both worlds. I love looking at the advanced stats and also just taking the game for what it is, but love seeing stuff like that. It's very interesting. It's also interesting in the development of players, trying to move their way up, as this will be a back-to-back walk issued to Killian Bloat after Vasquez walked. Runners will be at first and second with just one out here in the top of the third.
Sanger's having a little bit of a tough go.
That is already his 4th walk issued. He does have 4 strikeouts. As you kind of alluded to earlier, Andres, he hasn't gotten much help from his defense out there.
No, and that's the tough part. Your pitcher, as great as he is, you got to be there. That's why you're out there, especially if you're starting. These early errors should not be happening. You had your day off to practice, and the errors that at least I saw, the one up to second base at Fukuda, that's a standard ground ball.
So Sanger will come set with Mendoza. First pitch to him, outside on a fastball. Sanger is consistently missing on that outer corner for the fastball. See if he can adapt on the fly and try to get back in the strike zone. 1-0 count, and on the outer corner, this time it clips the strike zone for a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike. 1 out, runners at first and second. Score is 4-2. With the Lumberjacks out in front. Sanger trying to keep him right there. Ground ball through the hole on the left side. Into left field, Russ picks it up. He'll throw it into the cut man, and scoring on the play is Ortiz Vasquez. And now the throw gets away a little bit. They're trying to cover up home plate. Moving up is Killian Bloat there. So Mendoza will get a single and an RBI. And Bloat moves up to third. Mendoza at first now. Runners at the corners with only 1 out. And yet again, another run to make it 5 for the Lumberjacks. They lead it 5-2.
Tough go, because that run's going to count because he just walked everybody. That's the first hit of the inning. He led off the inning with a strikeout. Then, like you said, back-to-back walks and now the single. It's a tough go for Sanger.
4 hits in the ballgame now for the Lumberjacks, getting their 5 runs on those 4 hits. Foul ball off the bat of Adrian Sanchez, who is batting now in consecutive innings. He struck out back in the second. Still just 1 out here. Sanger searching hard for that second one. And good wheels from Adrian Sanchez at the plate. It'll be tough to turn 2 with him running. Here's a strike from Sanger as he is finding the strike zone now. No balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Runners at the corners. Sanchez will await as Sanger works pretty quickly here. In there, strike 3, froze him on the fastball. Great pitch there from Mitchell Sanger, working down around the kneecaps, and that'll be the second out.
Good way to get back Mitchell Sanger. He's at 76 pitches, which that's going to take a big toll. That's the most pitches he's ever thrown in a ball game in his 6 games that he has played. The most he had was back on January 23rd with 63 pitches.
First pitch strike here to Chris Baker, who doubled his last time up. With that strikeout on Adrian Sanchez, that gives Sanger 5 on the afternoon. Here's a wild pitch to the backstop, and Tanaka not happy with himself. He wanted to keep it in front. He was unable to do so, so scoring on the wild pitch is Killian Bloat, and moving up to second is Andres Mendoza.
Again, tough. It's a tough go for Sanger.
So with that wild pitch, another run scores, and the score is now 6-2 here in the top half of the third. And the Lumberjacks are not done yet either.
I think Sanger knows he can do better than this. This is just a tough day.
Big swing here from Baker, really going after that one. His double to right center field his last time around hit the wall. That ball was hit a ton off the bat of the lefty. Sanger will bring a 1-2. In there, strike 3. How about the movement on that slider? Some English on that one. Freezes Baker there, and Sanger has 6 strikeouts on the day, but not before the damage was done. 2 more runs across for the Lumberjacks, and they now lead it 6-2 as we go to the home half of the third in Palm Springs. So we go to the bottom half of the third with the Lumberjacks out in front. They lead 6-2 in the game. Jack Silva still on the mound. The lefty brings strike one on a foul ball off the bat of Alex Lippman. Lippman is 0 for 1. He grounded out to the pitcher his first time around. The Grizzlies search for any run support for Mitchell Sanger, who's had kind of a herky-jerky start. 6 strikeouts for the lefty, although the 6 runs across. He hasn't gotten much help defensively. There's a strike to Lippman. 1 ball, 1 strike, nobody out. As Silva brings this pitch in there on a strike. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Just 1 strikeout so far for Silva. Clean inning in the first. Gave up the 2 runs in the second as he works here in the third. Outside on a fastball. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Nobody out. Early goings here in the bottom of the third. It's Lippman, then DC Russ, then Sean Lawler to follow. As Silva comes set, high leg kick, brings a 2-2 upstairs. 3 balls and 2 strikes. The Lumberjacks and the Grizzly coming into this game. As we take a look at the standings now. This pitch is lifted in the air into left field. Giving chase over there is Dickey as well as Sanchez, and it drops in between them. It's going to be a long, high fly ball single off the bat of Alex Lippman. Their 3rd hit of the ball game, and they have something brewing here in the 3rd.
Yeah, that's a tough one. You had the shortstop and Sanchez running. I think Dickey could have called him off. He had a better run to him, and I think when you have 2 guys running, you're not going at full speed there. I think the only one who's going full speed was Sanchez, but he didn't have the best route to it.
So the Lumberjacks and the Grizzly right in the middle of things. The Lumberjacks come into this contest 6-6 record, and the Grizzly a 5-5 record. They also have a tie. Lumberjacks in 3rd place, Grizzly in 4th. Amongst our 6 teams out here, the Bombers still in the lead at a 9-3 record, with the Power right behind them at 8-3. 1 ball and no strikes to DC Russ. Check on the runner at first. DC Russ will also pitch on the mound as well for the Grizzly. He good depth to his game.
He's pitched in 5 other games. His last outing was his longest with 3 innings pitched.
Russ is one of the taller guys here at 6'7". It's a towering figure, 220 pounds for the 23-year-old from North Carolina.
He didn't hear us because he's so tall.
He is a monster frame as Silva is concerned with Lippman over there at first base.
I've lived with a guy who was 6'7", that he had to bend through doorways, and before anyone asked, he did not play basketball. That was one thing he didn't like.
This ball is hit sharply over the glove of Russo. It's going to be a double here standing up off the bat of DC Russ, who hounded that pitch as it went down the left field line. So runners now at 2nd and 3rd. Lippman going 1st to 3rd on the double on the ground ball.
And that's a tough one for Russo to reach out at, especially because it's going to his right side and he's got the glove on the left side. He's got a pitch over on the dive. I don't think he was ever going to get that one unless he was playing closer to the line.
So now it'll be Sean Lawler, a good power-hitting lefty with 2 runners in scoring position. Silva's first pitch, fastball that is hunted after by Lawler, who lifts it high in the air. The shortstop out there, Sanchez, and they'll try to back pick over at 3rd. And sliding back safely was Lippman. I'm not sure exactly why Lippman was even off the bag. or as far off the bag as he was. Probably not a case where you'd want to be more than about 3 steps just in case the ball falls, but they almost get the back pick. Nonetheless, the play is made by Sanchez in shallow left for the first out, and runners will remain at second and third.
Yeah, a great running catch by Sanchez. That one he had a little bit better of a route too, and a better, obviously making the catch. But wait to have that heads-up awareness for Littman at third.
First pitch into Nick Kreutzer is taken for ball 1. Kreutzer trying to drive in a run here. Down by 4 runs are the Grizzly. They trail 6-2 here, bottom of the third. Pitch is hit in the air off to the left side. Giving chase is the shortstop, Sanchez, as well as Russo, and it's barely out of play down there by some of the tables with the umbrellas over them.
Right by the concession stand. Pick it up, get some popcorn.
There you go. Free bags of popcorn for foul balls retrieved here at Palm Springs Stadium.
Mm-hmm.
I must say the popcorn is actually quite enjoyable.
Oh, it's delicious.
Pretty solid.
Nice snack.
Josh had a nice little snack in between games as well. Power cookie.
Oh, those are huge.
From Aspen Mills, and must say that was also solid. Here's a foul ball off the bat of Nick Kreutzer.
I had one of those power cookies about a week ago, and I think Josh can attest to it. Those things are huge, about the size of our faces.
We were treated real well with food today.
Oh, yeah.
Lots of options. These guys, they do get food in between every game. So they get some good treatment out here at the California Winter League. Here's the ball inside. They'll try to throw behind Littman, who slides back in safely, head first on the dive. 2 balls, 2 strikes to the hitter, Kreutzer.
I'm pretty sure Mendoza's got a few picked off runners.
Today we had some burgers down there, some leftover Jimmy John's sandwiches, pasta, salad.
Mm-hmm. Those burgers are so good.
Oh yes, nothing like a fresh burger off the grill as Kreutzer takes a ball. Full count here, 3 balls, 2 strikes, nobody out. Runners at second and third.
I gotta ask you, Mitch, as a Midwestern, as someone from the Midwest, did you ever think you'd be having a grilled burger in February in 75-degree weather? Ever in your life?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not, my friend.
Yeah,
But
I was eating it, I was like, this is summertime.
yeah, this
food.
well, it feels like summertime out here.
Absolutely.
Great weather today. No clouds in the air. Deep, deep blue sky as Kreutzer will see another 3-2 in the dirt, and trying to score now will be Littman, and he will score easily on a wild pitch.
Yeah, the runners will advance. I don't think Kreutzer realizes that that's ball 4. He can go over to first base.
Yeah, we all had 3 balls in the count.
I guess they're going to do it again. There's your ball 5.
Maybe we might have missed something, but Kreutzer will surely hit in a 3-2 now with nobody out. And now here's ball 4. So Kreutzer will walk. With that run plated, it's 6-3. The Grizzly battling back here a little bit in the bottom of the third, and they still just have only 1 out. So it's a walk issued, second walk issued from Jack Silva, and that'll bring up Nick Israel. He was the other walk back in the second, and he scored a run. Good way to open up this frame between Alex Littman and DC Russ. A single off the bat of Littman and a double for Russ. 1 away here. Kreutzer keeping the inning alive with the walk as Mendoza will come out from behind the plate. Silva checks on Kreutzer at first. High leg kick brings it. Fastball hit foul off to the left. Most of these Grizzly hitters, Andres, are pretty much out in front on that fastball, but we've seen a lot of balls hit pretty hard on that pitch.
Yeah, you're just going to turn on it, and you got to be patient, unfortunately. We were saying in the other game how many balls were hit in foul territory with home run distance.
Here's another fastball absolutely pummeled into left field on the ground off the bat of Israel. So scoring another run here as DC Russ crosses, and the Grizzly are not done in this game by any stretch of the imagination as they played another run here for their second run of the third, and they now have 4 in this ball game, and the score is 6-4.
I'm going to feel bad for our clubbies with Russo's jersey. He's just been all over the ground, just diving for everything that gets near him. We're going to have to scrub out some of those dirt marks.
Nothing like a good old time with some spray and wash.
Yeah.
Spray and wash saves lives here at Palm Springs Stadium. Here's a pitch here from Silva down low to Daisuke Fukuda, who grounded out to short his first time around. He does have an RBI on that ground out.
Makes me think of the amount of times my mom had to wash my Little League jersey as a kid, just rolling around in the dirt. No grass except for the outfield.
Yeah. Fun times. And then once you get to high school, you got to do it yourself.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man.
Not knowing how to clean out the spots in your pants. And
I'll tell you what, we had some clean white jerseys, but yeah, they were no fun to clean up after the fact. The batter here, Fukuda, will take a strike here from Silva. 6-4 our score, 1 away here in the bottom of the third. The Grizzly trickling back into this game as Silva will bring pitches hit on the ground to the shortstop Sanchez. He goes over to second. It'll be a throwing error, and now scoring will be Kreutzer. So it's a defensive blunder from the shortstop. Another run crosses the third run of this inning, and it's now 6-5.
that is a tough play. Adrian Sanchez trying to turn the double play to get out of the inning. The bases will be first and third. A run's going to come across. That's Kreutzer to come across on the error.
Yeah, you'd think that Sanchez would have planted the leg a little bit better and delivered a good feed over to Spencer Kean, but an errant throw there. So we've seen some defensive miscues by both teams now as Anthony Mcdougall stands in. We'll check on the runner over at first. Nothing doing there. Mcdougall, a strikeout victim back in the second. The only strikeout on the day so far for Silva. Not a huge strikeout guy, as we were talking about guys being out in front of the fastball. He's not really a high velocity guy in general.
Yeah.
One of those pitchers that tries to get hitters out by way of contact. So 6-5 our score. And the Grizzlies still threatening with a runner at third as Silva checks yet again on the runner at first.
Or Silva, I've been a big proponent on this, especially when you've got a one-run league, especially when the Grizzly have the momentum. Fire home. I get that the double play was ruined there, but if he does want to run, you got Mendoza behind the plate.
Ball ripped down the line and foul hooking.
We got Mendoza behind the plate who can toss him out. He's got the arm for it. And I'm sure that next time they won't miss that double play either.
Saw a couple of good double plays in game one. Real smooth looking, 6-4 threes, 5-4 threes. Does look like the Grizzly are already going to go to their bullpen as far as somebody warming up. DC Russ, who we mentioned, the super utility guy for them. We'll get some warm-up tosses in. We'll see if Sanger comes back out in the fourth inning. Only holding on to a one-run lead are the Lumberjacks. 6-5, one away here in the bottom of the third. Runner will try to move up on the stolen base, and the throw is into center field. So Israel will score, and Fukuda gets a stolen base and then moves up on the error.
Tough toss by Mendoza, and Kean couldn't get in front of it. He was going to his right, and the ball was off to his left, and it just sailed into center field. And Baker had to do some of the cleanup there.
So after all that, we now have a tie ball game, a fresh game at that. Swing and a miss here from Mcdougall for strike 2.
So Fukuda's going to get the stolen base and reach third on an error.
Pardon me, that was strike 3 there from Mcdougall, so he's down on strikes for his second time today. So 2 outs in the bottom of the third. That'll bring up Travis Tanaka. Big double for him and an RBI his first time around. That was into the left center gap. First pitch he sees, big rip there from the right-handed catcher. Fouls it straight back, no balls and a strike. This inning started with a leadoff single from Alex Lippman. DC Russ a double. Nick Kreutzer would walk. Another single from Nick Israel, an RBI. Keeping the line moving are the Grizzly, who now have plated 4 runs here in the bottom of the third. Check swing, it's called a strike anyway. No balls and 2 strikes here to Travis Tanaka.
It's been a long inning. Started off with the single, the double, a fly out, then a walk. Single, error, strikeout. But they found a way to tie it here from 2 outs in the bottom of the third.
Trying to give his team the lead with Fukuda at third. Here's the pitch from Silva. Swung on and hit foul. So at this point, if you're a player, a pitcher specifically, you got to just have that mindset of a fresh start. It's like the game has restarted over at 6 runs a pop. Same with the players as well in the field. Defensively, they've made some mistakes, but got to put that behind you. It's in the past now. Here's an 0-2. Silva brings breaking ball hit in the air to the right side. Will it stay fair? And it is. It's going to drop down out there. Tanaka racing for second, as coming across was Fukuda easily on the RBI double. 2 doubles in the game for Travis Tanaka and 2 RBIs. And the Grizzly now have the lead as they have climbed back in this one. It is 7-6.
A 5-run third to take over the lead. Incredible, and good on Fukuda to go the other way with it. The right fielder was more into right center field, and so he was able to get on his horse and get to second, but Luke kept him at second with that strong toss to the shortstop and Adrian Sanchez.
So Cole Rankin will now hit at the bottom of the order. He is the 9-hole hitter. 0 for 1, he flied out to center field his first time around, and he takes here early in the count, 1 ball and no strikes. So with that hit now, the Grizzly in this game have 3 extra base hits, 2 of them coming from Tanaka. Pitch is fouled off over by the dugout area over there, off to the right side by the Lumberjacks area.
And just like that, Sanger's in the win column.
And he's given a pretty good effort so far. Good strikeout numbers, just ran into some trouble there in the first inning after a couple of errors. Defensively, Rankin swings and misses here for strike 2. Count will be 1 ball and 2 strikes with 2 outs here, bottom half of the third, and the Grizzly now leading 7-6. 7 runs on 6 hits, as Rankin will look at this one too, hit sharply on a couple of bounces over to Keehan, who pulls the throw over by the dugout. It's another error, and that is going to plate another run. Tanaka comes around to score, and that is now the 6th run of this frame, and it is now 8-6 in favor of the Grizzly.
Oh, Keehan, that's a play you make every day. You step and throw. And I think that's a prime example of why you don't just throw with your arm. You got to throw with your legs too. That's out number 3 right there.
Still searching for that 3rd out, as Alex Lippman takes strike 1. And a rare occurrence here at the California Winter League, we see a team bat around. Normally by this point the teams would have rolled over the inning, but instead Lippman will be the 10th man to bat here in the bottom of the third. He takes a strike here.
And he's already at 36 pitches in this inning.
No balls and 2 strikes to Alex Lippman. Pitch on the way, swung on and missed. Strike 3 for the third out. Huge inning there in the bottom of the third for the Alberta Grizzly, who now lead it 8-6. They get 6 runs there in the bottom of the third. We'll go to the fourth here, and we'll see if Mitchell Sanger comes back out to try and keep the Lumberjacks right where they're at. It'll be Spencer Kean to lead it off here in the top of the fourth for the Lumberjacks, who trail it now 8-6 is our score. New pitcher on the mound for the Grizzly. It's going to be Nick Kreutzer out there.
And Nick Kreutzer comes in to pitch his second appearance. Cole Rankin will go from the DH spot to first base.
So Kreutzer trying to do a little bit of everything today. We saw DC Russ getting some warm-up tosses in, but instead it is Kreutzer. Grizzly, one of those teams that probably doesn't have as much depth on the pitching staff as they would like, as this ball is shot through the left side. Kean has a leadoff single to start out the fourth. Hard hit ground ball off the bat of the righty there as it finds the 5-6 gap into left field. For the Lumberjacks, that is now their 5th hit of the ball game. Plenty of errors for both teams in this game. 3 for the Lumberjacks, 2 for the Grizz. This ball is smoked into center field off the bat of Nick Jimbalvo. Have yourself a day, Jimbalvo. He is just a home run shy of the cycle. That is a single for him, back-to-back singles for the Lumberjacks to open up the fourth.
You know what the crazy thing was? That was a check swing. He didn't go all the way around. That was a check swing that he sent into center field.
And he still smoked that ball, too. Pretty hard hit. See if we can get some exit velo numbers on the check swing. Jimbalvo showing off the strength there. His 3rd hit of the ball game. A triple in the first, double in the second, and now the single here in the fourth. And now that'll bring up Jesse Russo, who takes ball 1. Russo walked in, scored in the first, struck out swinging in the second. So the book is closed on Mitchell Sanger, who is actually in line for the win, with the Grizzly leading 8-6. So Singer worked through 3 innings of work. He allowed 3 hits, and he struck out 6. And what looked like at times really good stuff and also really bad stuff at times. Kind of a roller coaster ride for the lefty.
Oh, definitely, for sure.
Showed really good stuff with the slider, at times just kind of erratic with the fastball. We were talking about that frozen strikeout of Chris Baker was probably the nastiest slider we had seen all winter long from Mitchell Singer, as the ball is taken here by the batter Jesse Russo. So runners at first and second after back-to-back singles here to open up the fourth. This ball is hit off to the left side and foul. Still nobody out here, top of the fourth. So Russo again 0 for 1. After him it'll be Dickey, then Ortiz Vasquez. This pitch is hit over the head of the first baseman Rankin. Down the line it goes. It's picked up by Lawler close to the foul line. Scoring on the play will be Kean. It's an RBI single for Jesse Russo, and moving up to third is Nick Gimbalvo.
Lumberjacks are coming back. It's now 8-7 in favor of the Grizzly, but no outs left.
Still nobody out here in the top of the fourth. A run across to make it 8-7 now. We've got some good back and forth action here.
Absolutely.
So back and forth we go. That'll bring up Dontavius Dickey. He reached on an error his first time around and struck out the next time. Here's a ball hit down the line in left field. Racing for second now is Dickey. Scoring easily on the play was Gimbalvo. Russo moves up to third. I hardly had enough time to look up from my scorecard there, and it's a double for Dickey. 4 straight base hits here in the fourth.
Again, Kreutzer's not a pitcher. He's coming in to eat up some innings. Unfortunately, you need to get some outs. It's one way or another. I mean, guy's usually playing at first base. He's a great hitter, but he hasn't pitched in a while.
So the score is now tied, 8 runs apiece. His first pitch swinging here is Ortiz Vasquez into right field. Long run, and nobody's going to get there. Fukuda couldn't go out into shallow right as Lawler was giving chase. And that is going to fall in for a single for Ortiz Vasquez. Another run scores on the play. That is Russo for the third run of the fourth. And the Lumberjacks now continuing their success with 3 here in the fourth. 2 in the third, 1 in the second, and 3 in the first.
Scored in every inning and now have that 9-8 lead.
That was a weird looking play. Should have been probably pretty routine for Fukuda.
And that was right behind him. That just barely hit on the grass.
Was not deep at all into right field. I didn't get a good read as to if Fukuda lost it or what exactly happened, but that is the 5th straight hit here in the 4th inning with Kreutzer now on the hill. And now grounding foul is Killian Bloat. Bloat has gotten aboard twice with 2 walks. He's also scored a run back in the third. 9-8 our score here, top of the fourth, with the Lumberjacks now out in front. They have scored in every frame so far. 3 crooked numbers in the first, third, and fourth, and also the run in the second. The Grizzly started out well behind in this game, 4-0. They've climbed back, and it's been back and forth ever since. Now losing this ball in the sun is the center fielder Lippman. It's down out there, and Killian Bloat will be in at second base with a double. Another run scores. Moving up to third is Ortiz Vasquez. And again, it's a hit and an extra base hit. Their second extra base hit of the fourth, and they are just piling it on right now.
And Kreutzer not necessarily a pitcher, but that check swing was hit fairly deep into the gap.
Dontavius Dickey scoring there for the 4th run of the inning, and now the Lumberjacks lead at 10-8 is our score. First pitch strike here to Andres Mendoza. 10 hits now for the Lumberjacks. 6 for the Grizzly as a strike is thrown here. No balls and 2 strikes to the batter Andres Mendoza.
It is a tough one here for either team, honestly.
We saw the Grizzly bat around in the third, and the Lumberjacks are pushing that envelope as Mendoza hits here. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Here's the pitch inside, just barely missing. Take a look at some of the Grizzly pitching numbers. So far this year, they've only used 6 different arms, so we kind of touched on they're not the deepest team as far as their pitching staff is concerned. Primarily relying on Mitchell Singer and Arturo Monroy to start off games, and then between Kreutzer, Decker, Rust, and Fujisawa, they've done most of the other work. And I was looking down there, I believe that was a walk issued to Mendoza, and they were just going to roll over the inning. So they were unable to get a single out there in the top of the 4th. With Mendoza walking, they're going to roll over the inning, and we'll stop there. 4 runs across for the Lumberjacks, who now lead it 10-8 in this ball game, as we'll go to the bottom half of the 4th.
Welcome back to the California Daily. I'm sitting here with Mitch Klessner.
New hitter in the ballgame for the Grizzly will be Christian Busby, who hits a sharp grounder to shortstop. Adrian Sanchez makes the play. So Busby hitting in place of DC Rust grounds out on the first pitch he sees. He smoked that ball.
Yeah, that was a great backhanded stop by Sanchez. He was playing it as if he was going to like a routine ground ball, then realized, oh, it's coming a little bit faster. Got the backhand, picked it up, and fired it over to Giambalvo. Give credit to Giambalvo for the pick in the dirt.
So now it'll be Sean Lawler, who is 0 for 2, 2 flyouts for the lefty, who takes ball 1. Jack Silva still on the mound for the Lumberjacks. We'll see how long he goes in this game. We talked about how he has a couple of games where he's worked 5 innings of work so far, as he tries to make his way through the 4th inning of work here today. Lawler takes a ball here, and now Silva ready to go. Brings it from the stretch. The lefty deals in the dirt. Lawler with good pop in his bat. We saw him homer to dead away center field. That was about a week ago now, I feel like.
Yeah.
And here's the pitch in there for a strike. First strike that he sees here in this at-bat. 3 balls and a strike, nobody out. just opening up the bottom half of the fourth.
Yep, it was a week ago and a day when he hit it against the Bombers on the 30th.
Score is 10-8. This ball weakly hit over to the second baseman, Spencer Kean. Wild throw, but Jim Balvo picking up his second baseman. A couple of nifty plays there from the first baseman, digging out the first out and then making the tag there for the second out.
Kean's got to find a way to get those balls over to Jim Balvo without throwing them wildly. It looks like he's taking a little walk into the outfield, but that's around third or fourth ball that he's thrown that hasn't been to the chest of Jim Balvo.
For whatever reason, struggling to make a clean throw over to first base, as it'll be Nick Kreutzer to bat here, taking strike one. Kreutzer came in to relieve Mitchell Sanger on the mound there in the top half of the fourth, allowing 4 runs in a monster inning for the Lumberjacks, who would plate the 4 runs on 6 hits, and Kreutzer would not even record an out. They had to roll the inning over.
That's it. Like I said, Kreutzer's not a pitcher. The last appearance, he went 2/3 of an inning. He didn't strike anyone out, didn't give up any hits. He just got 2 outs.
Takes a ball upstairs here. Count will be 1 ball and 2 strikes. 2 outs after Christian Busby sharply grounded out to the shortstop. Sean Lawler grounded out to second for the first 2 outs here in the bottom of the fourth. Grounded back of the middle. Kick save off of Silva. Barehanded attempt by Kean won't be there. So it'll be a hit for Kreutzer on the single on the infield. Silva did everything he could to keep it in front with his feet, playing a little soccer out there. Was unable to do so, though, and the Grizzly will have a runner at first after the single with 2 away.
Yeah, that's a hard ground ball right up the middle. Silva just was able to block it. Kean tried to make a play but just couldn't handle it, but still some solid contact and beating out the throw.
First pitch hacking here is Nick Israel. A lot of first pitch swinging here in this frame. We kind of touched on Silva is not a guy that's going to overpower you on the mound.
Silva's pitched first pitches to 11 of the 23 batters he's faced thus far.
Yeah, one of the weaker fastballs velocity-wise. No balls and a strike here to Nick Israel. This ball is hit foul off to the left side. Again, going after that fastball, trying to get the bat head out. Israel today is 1 for 1. He also walked in the second. 2 runs scored, and he added an RBI on that single in the third. 10-8 our score here. Home half of the fourth with 2 outs. Pitch on the way is lifted into right field. Killian Bloat moves over to his left just a couple of steps, and he squeezes it for the third out. Pretty good inning there from Silva, only allowing 1 hit. And down go the Grizzly there in the fourth with no runs across. Lumberjacks lead it 10-8, and we are already going to the fifth here in Palm Springs.
Adrian Sanchez.
We go to the top half of the fifth. It'll be Adrian Sanchez to lead it off for the Lumberjacks, who are out in front of this contest. 10-8 is our score. Sanchez takes barely inside. Nick Kreutzer back out for more work for the Grizzly. The right-hander, not typically a pitcher, but coming in to relieve Mitchell Sanger. Big swing and a miss here from Adrian Sanchez. Sanchez is 0 for 2, a strikeout swinging and a strikeout looking. And the lefty will await and swing and a miss here, so Kreutzer has him in the hole. 1 ball and 2 strikes here to open up the top of the fifth. Solid top of the fourth in the last frame of work for the Lumberjacks, playing 4 runs in that frame. This ball bounded back up the middle. Good backhand play by Fukuda. No chance to get the speedster running down the line. It'll be an infield single for Adrian Sanchez.
That's just a tough one there. Sanchez with the wheels. Fukuda can only do so much on there. And actually, that's not Fukuda. I think that's Nieva.
I believe you are correct. It looks like there was a defensive change for the Grizzly there. It looks like you are right there, Andres. Looks like Brandon Nieva out there. Nieva made a pretty good backhanded play to keep it in front, but just too much speed from Sanchez to get down the line. So a hit for him. And with that hit, everybody in the lineup today for the Lumberjacks has reached base by way of a base hit.
Oh, look, there's Fukuda on the first base side there.
Trying to count up the extra base hits. I'm counting 4 here for the Lumberjacks. A double for Chris Baker. Jimbalvo has a double and a triple. Runner now taking off for second. It'll be a stolen base for Sanchez. Throw came in just a tad bit late from Tanaka. So putting himself in scoring position is Adrian Sanchez. And the batter is Chris Baker. Baker with that double, he is 1 for 3, takes a strike here. Trying to put pressure on the Grizzly on the base paths was Adrian Sanchez with that stolen base. Pitch on the way is hit the other way off the bat of Baker, but foul. Baker typically a guy that likes to pull the ball. Trying to go the other way there. Kreutzer just trying to do everything he can to hopefully just keep the Lumberjacks right where they are with 10 runs. Baker awaits and takes strike 3 looking. Kreutzer freezes him on a fastball for the first out here in the fifth.
Any way to get a strikeout, I'll take it.
So there you have it, a strikeout there. And as a staff now, that is the 7th strikeout. Jacks still lead at 10-8. Runner in scoring position. Spencer Kean will dig in. He is 1 for 3. Takes ball 1 here. Reached on an error in the first, scored a run. Single and a run scored back in the 4th. Here's the pitch. Down low, taken for a ball. Trying to pull up some of the stolen base numbers here for the Lumberjacks after Sanchez stole that bag. That gives them 32, I believe, now on the season. Trying to put pressure on the Grizzly. Here's a ball taken by Spencer Kean. He takes a deep breath as he re-enters the batter's box. Nick Jimbalvo awaits on deck, and don't want to speak too soon, Andres, but he is just a home run shy of the cycle, as this pitch is taken for a strike from Spencer Kean.
And this is no disrespect to Kreutzer, but if you're going to get a home run off of anybody, it's going to be a pitching position player.
Rolls over this pitch, and it's hit high on the chopper. Trying to cut it off was Mcdougall. He couldn't make the play. It'll be an infield single with Nick Israel just running over there to keep it on the infield and prevent Sanchez from scoring. So another single here in the 5th. The second hit now in the top half of the 5th. Kean's second hit of the ball game. And the inning will continue with Nick Jimbalvo searching for a home run.
Jimbalvo.
And if you want to face anybody, it's Nick Kreutzer. I don't think you could have doctored up the perfect storm as the runner will take off. That'll be a stolen base easily for Spencer Kean. Just how you draw it up for Jim Balvo, who now hits from the left side. He did all of his 3 hits of work from the right side. Goes after this pitch, just barely misses it as it is skied a mile in the air over into right field. Not being able to see it was Lawler. Really, nobody saw it. A phantom baseball alert, and that'll be a hit for Jim Balvo, his 4th of the contest. Coming around to score was Sanchez, and moving up to third was Spencer Kean on the high fly ball into right field, and boy, he just missed that one.
Yeah, I don't think anyone saw it there, neither Nievin or Lawler nor Cole Rankin. It was just, as you said, a phantom ball. The sun is shining bright, not a single cloud in the sky. Beautiful weather, but that sun is going to play a huge factor on these guys.
Ironic as it has been all winter long, these guys have had the most trouble with clear skies. With some cloud coverage, for whatever reason, these outfielders and guys in the infield are able to see it a little bit better. That ball was hit a mile in the air, so Jesse Russo will stand in. A hit for him his last time up. Kind of going against the grain of what you're typically taught, that you want to hit the ball hard on the ground, but out here it's almost like you want to hit it. Yeah, you want to hit it as high as possible in the air. So Russo hits here in a 1-0 count. Top half of the 5th, a run across here for the Lumberjacks to give them now 11 in the ball game. 11-8 our score, and that's where we stand right now, with Kreutzer working against Jesse Russo in a 2-ball and no strike count. 1 out here in the top of the 5th. Kreutzer would love a double play ball on the ground, but Russo's going to spoil this ball foul off to the left. It'll be Dontavius Dickey to follow, should we get there. Russo, some good pop in the bat for the infielder. The lefty awaits. Pitch is just barely inside. 3 balls and a strike.
The Lumberjacks have scored with that phantom ball, have scored in every single inning thus far.
Pitches in the dirt. Russo takes a good job by Tanaka to keep it in front, but it will be ball 4 there. Russo will take a walk, and the inning will continue with 1 out. So with that walk, that is the 5th one. 6th one issued. 5 coming up to that point. Russo now with walk number 6. And here comes Dontavius Dickey. Dickey doubled his last time around. Hits this ball sharply down the line and left, and it is foul. Boy, that was some good wood there. Hit that ball hard off the bat.
That would have at least plated at least 2 runners, if not 3, depending how far would have gone into the foul ball well.
Yeah, my estimation, that probably would have plated all 3 had he kept it fair. Just a little bit too far out in front. Hitting in an 0-1 now, and now it'll be 1 ball and 1 strike with Kreutzer on the mound. 11-8 our score in the top of the 5th. Just 1 out. Pitch is high here. Dickey with good patience, letting that one go by. 2 balls and a strike, finding himself in a hitter's count. This could be a dangerous one right here as Kreutzer delivers. Good swing there from Dickey, but he fouls it away. Absolutely feasting at that pitch. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Bases loaded. Here comes the pitch. In the dirt, it'll be a full count. Kreutzer's jersey has now come untucked a little bit. 1 out. Kreutzer searching for that elusive 2nd and 3rd out as this ball is hit in the air on the infield. Over there is Nick Israel shading the sun with the sunglasses and the glove high in the air as he makes the play on the pop out.
I think they called the infield fly on that one. I saw both umpires with their hands in the air.
So a good call there. Trying to remember, what was the playoff game? It was the Cardinals and somebody else, that famous infield fly rule.
I think it was the Cardinals and the Reds. Wasn't that the World Series game?
Yes, it was a World Series game. I'm trying to remember.
It was the Cardinals and Red Sox. I'm almost positive. I think that's what you're talking about.
That was a famous infield fly call as the pitch is taken for strike from Ortiz Vasquez. Time called in the box. And it was a famous call because they called an infield fly with the shortstop. He was like well out into left field.
That's right, yeah.
Pivotal point in that game, because had they not called the infield fly, if I'm remembering correctly, they were going to try to tag up from third. An interesting play. That was a couple of years ago now, maybe even
2011?
Yeah, maybe even a decade ago now. Boy, time is a flying. Here's a strike here to Ortiz Vasquez, who's in the hole 0-2. 2 down here. Lumberjacks lead it 11-8 as Kreutzer tries to get out of it, and he will. Strike 3 looking there. Down goes Ortiz Vasquez, but another run comes across here in the top half of the 5th. The Lumberjacks lead it 11-8 as we go to the bottom of the 5th.
After the read, can you go and switch the thing?
Here we go to the bottom half of the 5th with the Grizzly coming to bat. They trail by 3. 11-8 is our score. And this looks like it'll be Brandon Nieva to dig in.
Music.
Ball 1 here to Nieva. So Nieva coming in the place of Fukuda, who leaves the ball game 0 for 2. He did score a run and had an RBI. 11-8 our score as we try to work out the kinks of our quite famous scoreboard at this point. The thing has a mind of its own, to say the least. 3 balls and no strikes, I believe, is the count here to Nieva. And it is still Jack Silva on the mound. Here's ball 4 to Nieva. So he works a walk, and the Grizzly have a leadoff man on after the walk here in the 5th. Slower feel to this game with so many runs being scored. First game of today actually went by relatively quickly. This has been a back and forth battle here in game 2. Swing and a miss here, the batter Anthony Mcdougall. 0 for 2 is Mcdougall as he adjusts his helmet. 2 strikeouts for him today. Just 3 strikeouts for Jack Silva. Me and Andres have kind of highlighted that he's not a huge strikeout threat on the hill. Brings a strike here to Mcdougall. Tries to get guys to put the ball in play and get themselves out. No balls and 2 strikes here to Mcdougall. Silva comes set looking at first, and now he'll deal. Instead, he'll check on the runner. 11-8 our score. Bottom half of the 5th in beautiful Palm Springs. We see somebody in our comments loves seeing baseball in January, and I concur. We love seeing baseball in January. Hopefully Major League Baseball will sort out their kinks, and we will see some Major League Baseball action soon as pitchers and catchers getting closer to that time of the year where they're supposed to report to their camps. 1 ball, 2 strike pitch here from Silva. He'll check on the runner again over at first base. Nothing doing there. Looking at some of the baseball news in general, there's not a whole lot going on that front. Here's a wave and a miss from Anthony Mcdougall, who is now a victim of the strikeout 3 times in this game for the first out here in the bottom of the 5th. Big swing there from the righty, and he came up empty, and that'll bring up Travis Tanaka, who's swinging a red-hot bat. 2 doubles for Tanaka today, 2 RBIs and a run scored. The catcher has shown it all. He's also played a pretty good game behind the plate. As Silva comes set with 1 out. Looking over at the runner on first, brings it in the dirt, kept in front. Behind the dish there, working hard all afternoon, has been Andres Mendoza. 1 ball and no strike here to Tanaka. Tanaka, a good hitter to have in that 8-hole slot. Very good at hitting the ball hard and turning the lineup back over as he hits this one hard to Sanchez, who makes an errant throw to second base. Moving up to third, and now being waved around to score will be Nieva as the ball is picked up in shallow right field over by the bullpen. And scoring all the way from first is Nieva. So Tanaka reaches on the error. He's at second base, and scoring on the error was Nieva, and the score is now 11-9 as the Grizzly are trying to make a comeback here late in the ball game.
Yeah, that's 4 errors on the Lumberjacks in the game. You got to make it. It was a nice pick there, but if you can't get a good throw from a knee to second base, which that's a tough one. You miss second base, you're going all the way into the outfield. You're better at making the toss to first base.
So the bad throw from Sanchez, his second error at the shortstop position today, as this ball is squibbed foul off to the right. Cole Rankin looks like he'll be replaced here. The batter instead of Rankin will be Carter Davis.
Adrian Sanchez with 2, Mendoza had 1 when he threw down to second, and Spencer Kean had had 1 as well at second base.
So runner at second, swing and a miss here. Just 1 out here, bottom of the 5th. The Grizzly looking to continue to add with a runner in scoring position. Davis trying to extend the inning even further. Silva brings to the plate. Swing and a miss. Down on strikes goes Carter Davis. Silva makes quick work of him for the second out.
3 pitches, and they got a strikeout there. That's all you need. Now it's Lippman, who's 1 for 3.
So we go back to the top of the order with Alex Lippman. 1 hit, as Andres mentioned. 1 for 3, that is, taking strike 1. Single and a run scored in the 3rd. Silva has been out there for what seems like forever at this point. Throws a ball here to Lippman.
So the wind is picking up. You can see the American and Canadian flag out in center field, blowing from right to left.
Here comes a pitch, swung on and missed. Foul tip actually squeezed by Mendoza behind the plate. 1 ball and 2 strikes. As we go down and take a look here for Jack Silva, approaching 100 pitches in the ball game as this pitch is hit foul off to the right. what feels like probably the most pitches thrown by any starters so far this year.
Yeah, the most we've ever seen, I think, off of recent memory, about 86, 84, 90. This is pitch number 94. There's no way that we have seen anyone reach that sort of level. Sanger pitched 80 pitches in 3 innings. And Kreutzer himself has 51 in what should be 2 innings, but only 1 inning of work.
Fouled straight back, so this should surely be the last inning of work for Silva, who has had his work cut out for him in this game. Grizzly are not done. They've battled back in this one. They were down early 4-0, clawing back a little bit in the second with 2 runs. Going into the third, they were down 6-2, and then they would plate 6 in the third. They have battled in this one. Score is 11-9 right now. 2 down here, bottom of the 5th, with Lippman at the plate. Silva to the plate, high on a fastball, and Lippman will take a stroll down to first. Instead, that's ball 3. Faking everybody out there.
Yeah, I had ball 3 if I had a full count right now.
So 3 balls and 2 strikes. Lippman will look for base hit or ball 4. And a full count pitch taken upstairs, and now he will get to stroll down to first with a walk.
That's pitch number 98. I'm surprised that AJ's not coming to take him out yet. I'm assuming that they don't track pitches down there, but he's been out there for a while. He's given up 7 hits, 9 runs, only 4 earned. 5 strikeouts and 3 walks. That's definitely at least 100 pitches worth of work.
Well, it's pretty customary for a manager to have a clicker to being keeping count of the pitch count, but I'm not sure if they're doing that here. Nonetheless, it's Christian Busby to bat here with 2 away in the bottom of the 5th.
There's the century mark pitch right there.
Runners at first and second as Silva eclipses 100 pitches in the ball game. A lot of wear and tear on that left arm today. It'll bring 101 here in the dirt. It'll be a wild pitch, and both runners move up. 2 runners in scoring position now after the wild pitch. It's Tanaka at third and Lippman at second.
And with that 100th pitch, 61% of his pitches for strikes in the game.
Just 5 strikeouts for Lippman. He's allowed 7 hits in the ball game. Pitches inside to Christian Busby, who took place of DC Russ back in the 4th. Busby is 0 for 1, a sharp ground ball out to the shortstop his last time around. 2 walks issued in this frame. This ball is hit again to the shortstop. Bobbled a little bit by Sanchez, but he hangs with it to make the play for the 3rd out on the ground ball. So that'll do it in the 5th for the Grizzly. They played another run, but they still trail by 2. Score is 11-9 as we go to the 6th inning here in Palm Springs. the top half of the sixth here in Palm Springs. New pitcher on the mound. It looks like it is Sean Lawler for the Grizzly, and we've highlighted so far in this game not the deepest pitching staff for the Alberta Grizz. So to bat here, it'll be Killian Bloat, Mendoza, and Sanchez. 7, 8, 9 due up for the Lumberjacks, who are barely out ahead in this game by 2 runs. 11-9 is our score. Here in the top of the sixth, ball outside here to the lead man, Killian Bloat. He is 1 for 1, a double and an RBI his last time around, and 2 walks in this game. Takes outside here for a ball. I believe the count is 3 balls and no strikes to the hitter. Here's the pitch. Just barely missing outside, and that'll be ball 4. Bloat is aboard with a leadoff walk here in the sixth.
It's the first pitching performance we've seen from Lawler all year, and first batter he puts him on 4 pitches for a walk.
That is the 7th free pass issued to the Lumberjacks. So Andres Mendoza will hit now. The righty looks at ball 1 outside. We were talking about not much baseball news going on. Doesn't hurt to always check the MLB page. Andres says a strike is taken here by Mendoza. Looking at some of the weirdest team leaders in random stats. If there's any sport in the world that has the most random stats, it is baseball.
Yeah, I was actually talking to Josh the other night about this guy named Terrence Gore. You know the crazy thing about him?
What's that?
He's got less than, I'd say, less than 20 at-bats. He's got 3 World Series rings.
Yeah, that's absurd. And one of those came with the Royals.
Royals?
In 2015.
Royals in 2015, the Dodgers in 2020, and the Atlanta Braves this year.
Yeah, how about that? Some of these stats are just extremely random here, looking team by team, trying to find maybe the most interesting one. How about this? Bert Campaneris holds the Rangers single-season sacrifice bunt record at 40.
40 seconds.
And that probably will never be broken again, as the sacrifice bunt has really gone by the wayside in today's game.
Especially with the debate of bringing the DH to, being in both leagues. You're not going to see sack bunts anymore.
Absolutely. And I think that will be something that we'll see this year whenever they come to an agreement. Swinging at that pitch was Mendoza. Running on the pitch was Bloat. Foul ball. We'll do it again. 3 balls, 2 strikes, nobody out. How about this? Ricky Henderson, the stolen base king, also holds the A's single season record for caught stealing. He was caught stealing 42 times in 1 year. This ball lifted into right field. Should be easy there for Nick Israel, who is the new right fielder. He makes the play for the first out.
And with that new right fielder, we got Daisuke Fukuda at shortstop, and Brandon Nieva still at the second base spot.
The shortstop, number 2.
Yeah, you wouldn't imagine Ricky Henderson leading the franchise in caught stealing.
You wouldn't imagine it, but it does make sense.
Yes.
He would run a lot.
Right.
It's kind of like, Babe Ruth. He's definitely up there in strikeouts, but the more you swing, the more you make contact. And when you're Babe Ruth and you make contact over the fences, there you go.
How about this one for the Brewers? Jim Slayton is the Brewers franchise wins leader, but he has a career losing record.
Oh,
117 and 121.
I mean, yeah,
Can't
there
make
you
this
go.
stuff up. Swing and a miss here. Or how about this one? Padres franchise home run leader, 163. That seems so minuscule.
Yeah. How long have the Padres been around? That's kind of
Great
weird.
question. Tatis Jr. will surely break that record if he keeps up the way that he has been playing. 2 balls and 2 strikes here to Adrian Sanchez, who's 1 for 3. Runner at first is Killian Bloat, and 1 down.
I'm thinking about the Padres. Do you really think one guy that stands out to me is Tony Gwynn? or the base hit king, or batting average king as well. I'm not really thinking of home run hitters in San Diego.
Yeah, really not a whole lot of guys that love to leave the yard. San Diego, one of the most beautiful ballparks, as Sanchez swings and misses. Strike 3 here for the second out. Good pitch there from Lawler. Lawler looks like he's got a little bit of zip on the fastball. Certainly more than Kreutzer. Obviously, Kreutzer not a pitching guy, or not a guy that you would typically see on the mound. So Chris Baker will stand in. Strike 1 taken from the left-handed hitter.
Just passing the 2.5 hour mark here in this game. I think around 12:30.
That was around our start time. I believe it was like 12:34. Ball 1 here to Baker, who hits in a 1-1 count with 2 outs and a runner at first. Top half of the 6th we are in, with the Lumberjacks out in front. The score is 11-9. Baker with an extra base hit in the ballgame, a double way back in the second. Big wave and a miss here, and he comes up empty.
Well, they're finding a way to get out of the inning quick after the first guy to get on base on the walk.
Lawler will come set. The righty deals. Runner moves. Ball up high. Throw down is not in time. Safe with the stolen base is Killian Bloat.
That was a strange throw. I mean, it was a close call, but I would have expected Tanaka's toss to get there a little bit faster. It looked like it was just floating in the middle of the infield for a while.
So unable to get Killian Bloat, so Baker will hit in a 2-ball, 2-strike count. 2 outs, takes outside. A good leave there from the lefty. If I'm not mistaken, looks like Baker hits with a pink undershirt. I don't know if that's his lucky undershirt. Takes outside here. Whatever it is, it's working for him as he reaches base here. So runners at first and second with 2 outs.
Would have been a close way to end it, with the fly ball to right and then the strikeout and back-to-back strikeouts. But it'll be walk, fly out, strikeout, and a walk.
That is the 8th walk issued to the Lumberjacks. First pitch here from Kean is taken for a strike. I remember when I was playing, I had my favorite undershirt.
Yeah.
That puppy was not leaving my locker, man. That thing stayed in the same spot. And I remember the one time I thought that I had lost it, or somebody had accidentally taken it, out of the pile of laundry or whatever. And I was like freaking out.
This was in high school?
No, this was college.
Gotcha, okay.
Yeah. I was beside myself. I was like, I have to find my undershirt or I'm not going to be able to play in this game.
Yeah. My undershirt, playing in the cold in Chicago and traveling, it was just a compression yellow Under Armour shirt that I'd always wear underneath my jerseys. I was fortunate enough in high school, my school colors were green and gold, and then when I played college ball, club ball with Loyola, maroon and gold. So I didn't have to get a new undershirt, just got the same one for about 6 years.
Yeah, baseball players, obviously being probably the most superstitious of any sport. Basketball players are actually surprisingly pretty superstitious.
I've noticed that. Say them, and maybe even hockey players too.
Talking about superstition in basketball, think of like Rip Hamilton. He played with the mask his whole career. Swinging a foul ball here from Spencer Kean, who hits with runners at first and second, 2 down here, top of the 6th. Yes, baseball players certainly the most superstitious, even if it's just the littlest of things as wearing your socks high or wearing the pants down low, a wristband, an arm sleeve. Swing and a miss here. Lawler powers the fastball by Kean, so he notches 2 strikeouts in the top of the 6th. And that'll do it for the Lumberjacks in their part of the frame. They do lead at 11-9 as we'll go to the bottom of the 6th. We go to the sixth frame, the bottom half of the sixth, that is. A strike taken here by the Grizzly hitter Nick Israel. Still on the mound is Jack Silva. Really laboring out there. He's well over 100 pitches. So this will be his longest game of work. Up to this point, he's gone a couple of games, 5 innings of work. Working now into the 6th, though. And this pitch is going to miss here. So it'll be Nick Israel, then Nick Kreutzer. As Israel replaced Sean Lawler, who leaves the game 0 for 3. Here's a strike here from Jack Silva. We were talking in between the break, Andres. Silva out there, you can tell he is exhausted.
Absolutely.
The arm is certainly stiffening up, and you can tell he's exerting a lot of energy into each pitch he throws, and nobody is warming up in the bullpen.
No, nobody isn't. The thing that concerns me is, okay, if the coach is not paying attention, well, you should know as a pitcher that you're tired, you know? Again, this is a California Winter League. This is not an official league that you're playing for with a contract or anything. They're calling that one just foul.
Oh, wow.
I thought that
was it just my imagination, or did that hit?
It looked like it hit chalk to me.
I don't even know if it hit chalk. It looked like it was about a foot fair.
Nonetheless, they'll do it again, 1 and 2. But yeah, This is not a league to show off your endurance.
It's not Game 7 of the World Series.
No, it's not. And even if you were playing in the championship, you're not going to go that far. You know, this is a league to work out and get noticed, and I'm sure everybody's noticing what we've noticed.
Here is a strike swinging, so Silva battling through some exhaustion as he gets Israel down swinging. And with that is his 6th strikeout of the afternoon. You got to applaud the effort he's given. I mean, to be asked to go out there again, well above 100 pitches now, that's a tough task to face as Cole Rankin will dig in. Very confusing occurrence here as Kreutzer was hitting in this spot, and now Rankin just hitting in place of Kreutzer.
Yeah, they're definitely batting out of order, but again, California Winter League, we got a lot of stuff that happens.
This ball is lifted in the air. Foul. No balls, 2 strikes to Rankin. Rankin was hitting in the 9-hole and was 0 for 2. He was then replaced by Carter Davis, and now he is back in the lineup, replacing Nick Kreutzer.
That last pitch was Silva's 110th pitch. 61%, 62% his pitches for strikes at this point.
Here is a strike 3 looking. Wow, Silva, back-to-back strikeouts. How about that?
That's kind of incredible.
Really battling through a long afternoon for the starter, and he notches his 7th strikeout of the afternoon with Rankin going down on strikes, and that'll bring up Nick Israel here. Or excuse me, Fukuda, and I'm totally thrown off because Israel was hitting 5th, but then he led off this inning.
Mm-hmm. So it went Israel, Rankin, and now Fukuda. On deck is Nieva in the 6th spot. So it was just those 2 switches there in the inning.
There's a strike thrown here to Daisuke Fukuda. Fukuda, a pretty sound shortstop. See what he can do at the plate here as Silva brings outside a ball. 11-9 our score in favor of the Oregon Lumberjacks. We are in the bottom of the 6th with 2 outs. Ball here taken inside. 11 runs across for the Lumberjacks on 13 hits. 9 runs for the Grizz on 7 hits. And again, the Lumberjacks in the standing column, 6-6. Grizzly right behind them at 5-5 with a tie as well. as Fukuda will take a stroll down to first with a free pass. It's a walk with 2 outs.
Oh, that was ball 3. Float over to ball 4. Runner at first.
Rankin.
So now it'll be Brandon Nieva. He walked his last time around. See how much longer Silva can go. Wave and a miss here from Nieva. Silva just trying to get out of this inning. He is well above 110 pitches now. Runner at first with 2 away as Silva looks over and deals. In there for a strike, and Silva still bringing in that fastball decently. No balls, 2 strikes to the batter. Nieva, the righty, will await as Silva will bring an 0-2. Instead, he'll check on the runner.
I don't know if I'd be checking down the runner. You got 2 strikes and 2 outs and a tired arm. Why waste another throw?
Probably not worth the time, but trying to keep Fukuda close over at first. Set and ready to go. Here's an 0-2. In on the hands, soft line drive, and now it's caught on the short hop and thrown across by Adrian Sanchez. He didn't know if he needed to dive or what exactly he needed to do. Nonetheless, he makes the play on the short hop on the soft ground ball to the shortstop for the 3rd out. So that'll do it for the 6th frame. The Oregon Lumberjacks still lead it 11-9 as we go to the top half of the 7th.
Tonight is your
We go to the top half of the 7th. This is Nick Jimbalvo. Big swing and a miss here. Jimbalvo, 4 for 4, stealing the show today.
He's definitely going to get player of the game for sure, as the Lumberjacks are now 11-9. Again, just a home run away from the cycle.
But he's down in the hole here, 0-2.
You gotta believe, Mitch. You gotta believe.
Yeah, let's see what he can do. 2-strike pitch, down in the dirt. He'll get another shot at it. A triple in the first, a double in the second, single in the 4th, single in the 5th for Jimbalvo, who has hit from both sides of the plate. Lawler deals 1-2, not squeezed behind the plate from Tanaka, and it will be an even count, 2 balls, 2 strikes, nobody away here in the earliest part of the top half of the 7th. And Lawler now walking over to the dugout.
Well, that's not a good sign. No one's warming up in either bullpen. They have someone in the jack, but he seems to be gassed, looking at his arm. This is not a good sign. He's holding on to his arm bad.
Not a good sign there, and we're going to take a break here. Lawler in some serious pain, and you hate to see him holding his elbow. We're going to take a break here, and we'll come back.
Welcome back to the California Winter League. And Lawler coming out. Still a 2-2 count to Mcdougall. Tanaka's going to be pitching. Carter Davis behind the plate. So they'll switch spots there. Jack's leading 11-9. We hope that Sean Lawler is okay. I'm sure he's getting some attention at the medical tent over there.
So here's a foul ball off the bat of Jim Balvo. Like you mentioned there, Andres, we really hope that Lawler is okay. Scary thing that was looking at that occur was that he was holding the elbow and it kind of looked like it went limp.
Oh,
here was the ball hit in the air to right field. Boy, I was about to jump out of my seat there. Jim Balvo is going to get another life at it, a foul ball.
Nick Israel slipping over there and falling onto the gate. Oh, my.
Another scary set to see. Israel giving a great effort down the line there and right.
I'm not sure how he slipped. It looked like he was slipping on ice.
Yeah, at home you can't see it, but well down there past the bullpen. And that chain link fence down the line is not a very high fence at all. It's probably like 4 feet max.
Yeah, it's a 4-foot fence, definitely. I would even argue, say 3 feet even. It's a small fence.
Jim Balvo flirting with the cycle. Will this do it? Deep into right center field. That ball is back. That ball is. Oh my God!
He hit the
Jim Balvo. See you on the other side, baseball. Jim Balvo leaves the yard into right center field. It is a solo shot for Nick Jim Balvo. Have yourself a day, young man. 5 for 5. He has hit for the cycle with the home run, the triple in the first, the double in the second, 2 singles in the fourth and fifth, and now the big fly to right center field. What a shot from Jim Balvo to electrify this game.
Oh, I'm surprised I'm not jumping out of the press box for that. My goodness, that was a shot.
That ball was pummeled to right center field.
There's your play of the game, folks, right there.
Wow.
Nicholas Jim Balvo.
Wow, and what is so impressive, too, he's done it from both sides of the plate.
Oh, my.
Unreal. What an effort from Nick Jim Balvo.
Because he had chance after chance. And with the pitchers being switched up, too.
Wow. Boy, and he got that extra life on the foul ball that we were just talking about in the very next pitch. Absolutely crushed to right center field.
That was a no-doubter.
Boy, that is fun to watch there. I don't know if I've ever seen a cycle live.
I've seen one live before. I can't remember where it was, but I believe it was against the Cubs. It's got to be against them because I believe I was working that day. But calling one, I've never done.
This ball now ripped into deep right center field off the bat of Jesse Russo. Moving over to make the play is Israel. Wow. One away here in the top of the seventh. After the solo shot, the Lumberjacks now lead it now 12-9 is our score. One away here after the flyout.
I'm still speechless. Thing is, he did it backwards. He hit the triple first, then the double, then a single. He hit the single again, and then finished with I believe one of the hardest parts of that cycle.
Well, you hit it on the head, Andres. He knocked out the hardest one first. Mm-hmm. The triple is normally the hardest one because you have to have perfect placement on the field usually for the triple. So he knocked that one out of the way real early on. And the thing, too, even with his singles, none of them have been cheapo hits. They've all been smashed.
Absolutely not. But now he's 5 for 5. That's the first time we've seen that here in the Cal Winter League this season.
Wow, what a game for Nick Jim Balvo. Down on strikes here is Dickey for the second out. Just an unreal day for Nick Jim Balvo. And what has been kind of a unique game. It's been back and forth at times. It's felt extended at times. The Grizzly now working with their fourth pitcher in Travis Tanaka on the mound. On the other end, Jack Silva still working for the Lumberjacks.
You know, Mitch, and it brings me back to the first game you and I called. We talked about how you're going to see a little bit of everything, and I think we've seen almost everything.
Yes.
Seen the walk-off home run yesterday, and almost, I think the only thing we've missed is a complete game shutout and a no-hitter.
Wow. We were going to see a complete game. That was Galindo, possibly?
Yes,
and then,
that was close, but they called him out.
Yeah, and then we were hoping that Scamboluri would get an effort in his last start there on Sunday, but the safe choice to preserve his arm, and back-to-back strikeouts here to end the frame. Ortiz Vasquez goes down swinging. So Nick Jimbalvo steals the show today as he powers the Lumberjacks out to a 3-run lead. Score is now 12-9. Nick Jimbalvo, 5 for 5, caps off the cycle with a big fly to right center field here in the 7th. We'll go to the bottom half of the Grizzly, down by 3. We'll see if they can make a comeback. Last chances here for the Alberta Grizzly. Strike one poured into Anthony Mcdougall, who is 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts. Boy, me and you, Andres, we about lost our minds there in the top half of the 7th. Nick Jimbalvo stealing the show.
I'm going to have fun writing that recap.
Wow. He has 5 of the 14 hits for the Lumberjacks. Hitting for the cycle. Here's a pitch, swung on and missed from Mcdougall. And that is one of the hardest things to do in baseball.
I think the hardest thing to do in baseball, the way that Nick did it, he got the hardest one out of the way. Left with a home run. And it's not hard, it's not easy to hit a home run out of this ballpark. And so being able to do that was just incredible. I think that's what made it even more just special, is that it's hard to hit a home run out of here.
Yeah, you think about some of the tougher feats in baseball. One of them obviously being a perfect game. No hitter falls under that category as well, obviously. A complete game is very tough to do, even in today's game where teams rely on bullpens. Strike 3 looking here for Mcdougall, who now wears the golden sombrero. His 4th strikeout of the afternoon. Mcdougall will walk back to the dugout, and that'll bring up Tanaka with 1 down here in the 7th.
Number 10, Travis.
If you think about some of those things, those are definitely some of the tougher things, but the cycle falls in that category as one of the harder things to do, and Jimbalvo, he almost made it look easy today.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Brung in there for a strike to Travis Tanaka. One strike count here with one out, bottom of the 7th. Last chances here for the Grizzly, who are down by 3, 12-9 our score. Try to bring up Jim Balvo's numbers now after that big fly. So he adds a double to make it 2 doubles for him, his first triple of the California Winter League, and first home run as well. Adds 5 hits to now put him in double-digit figures for the hit category. 2 balls and a strike to the batter at the plate now, Travis Tanaka, who has 2 hits in this game, 2 doubles for the catcher. And time is called as this ball clips him, and he will be at first base. So the Grizzly won't go away just yet. They get a man on first with 1 away here in the bottom of the 7th. And you can hear from the dugout, they say 1 runner at a time. They will try to keep the line moving here. And now it'll be Carter Davis.
Carter Davis!
So Davis would need to get aboard in order to bring the tying run to the plate. We'll see what Davis can do. Davis 0 for 1 with a strikeout swinging his last time up. Swings at the first pitch here, and he fouls it away. No balls and a strike. We kind of overlooked mentioning a new pitcher on the mound is Adrian Sanchez, finally replacing Jack Silva, as we'll look to get an official pitch count on Silva for today, who worked through 6 innings of work. Here's a ball up high, 1 ball and 1 strike. Silva's arm probably about ready to fall off, as he worked 119 pitches.
Yeah, that is incredible.
Here is a wild pitch, so moving up to second will be Tanaka, and it will be ball 2 to Davis. So 2 balls and a strike, 1 out. And Adrian Sanchez, who was playing shortstop all day on the hill.
Now at short is Kadrian Russ will take over there.
Here's a ball that barely misses outside. Not sure where that missed. Davis trying to do anything he can to extend a rally here for the Grizzly, who trail it by 3, 12-9. Just 1 out here as Sanchez comes set and fires. Here is a walk issued now to Davis, and now things are getting interesting, my friend.
Yeah, they are down by 4, but only 1 out, and Littman looking to get another hit. He's 1 for 3 already today.
Center fielder, number 11.
So that is now the 6th walk on the day for the Grizzly. And get this as well, the Grizzly have not tallied a hit since the 4th inning.
Wow.
They do have 7 hits in this ballgame, but nothing doing since the 4th. Bats have gone quiet, and they're trying to reignite them late here. Here's a strike thrown for the 2nd strike of this at-bat to Alex Littman. Littman is 1 for 3, a single, a run scored, and a walk in this game. Sanchez deals, just barely missing. A good eye there from Littman to leave that pitch down low in the zone. So a 1-2 count as Sanchez comes set pretty quickly with the hands low. Breaking ball is hit foul off to the left side. And you can kind of feel the tension in the air building, Andres. The Grizzly players all out in front of the dugout, their heads perked up a little bit more chatter coming from the dugout as well from what has been a really quiet game. This ball is going to get behind the catcher, and back to the backstop it goes. So it'll be a wild pitch. Mendoza couldn't keep it in front. The 2 runs on, or the 2 runs that could be on in scoring position at 2nd and 3rd, those do not matter. The run at the plate is what matters the most.
So we need to make sure the mic and everything like that is good before we can.
So here comes a 2-2 upstairs, and Littman leaves it alone. Now things getting real interesting here as the Grizzly are trying to brew up a magical inning. It'll be Busby on deck as Lippman lofts one softly. Will it fall? And a diving effort. It gets out of the glove of Dontavius Dickey. So scoring, and now they've got Lippman hung up between first and second.
Oh, no.
What a weird play as the ball came in and was cut off by Sanchez, who then tripped on the play. It'll be a single and an RBI. Tanaka scores, and moving up to second was Davis. And Lippman nearly ran off Davis at second base. And boy, the Grizzly kind of avoid a mistake there.
Yeah, and Davis was actually still at second. He did not advance because I believe, as most people thought, that Dickey made the diving catch. But then once it popped out, he was like, well, I can't go nowhere else. So it'll be a RBI single, as you had mentioned. And the Grizzly have the winning run at the plate.
So here we go. Fasten your seatbelts. The score is now 12-10, and the Grizzly just trail by 2 with Christian Busby at the plate. Busby is 0 for 2. He's grounded out twice to the shortstop. Both times he's hit the ball hard, and he patiently takes this pitch for ball 1. 1 ball and 1 strike, and Busby smiles at the umpire.
Number 21.
You know the Grizzly are trying to do anything they can here. All of the momentum on their side. Boy, we got the fireworks in the top half of the 7th with the cycle being completed by Nick Jimbalvo. Could we see some more fireworks here in the bottom half of the 7th? A 1 ball, 1 strike pitch coming here from Sanchez as he deals. This pitch is hit high in the air into center field. Drifting over there is Baker. He makes the play. Tagging at second and trying to move up to third is Davis. Throw is just a little bit late, so he moves up to third on the long fly ball out off the bat of Christian Busby.
Great way to tag up there. It's deep enough. Lippman staying at first as that throw to second would have nabbed him for the third and final out. And here's the last chance for the Grizzly to get the runs moved across.
So they'll leave it up to Nick Israel, the left-handed hitter. 0 for 1, a strikeout his first time around.
Israel.
And actually, pardon that, he's hit in 2 different spots of the order. At least for this part of the order, he is 0 for 1.
I have him 1 for 3 overall.
Yes, overall he is 1 for 3. He's hit in 2 different spots of the order, though, which makes it a little weird and tricky. He is 1 for 3, a single, a run scored, an RBI. He also walked back in the second. He is the winning run at the plate. 12-10 our score. The tying run at first base in Alex Lippman, who has pretty good speed. Although they will not be looking to run as they don't want to be thrown out with 2 down here bottom of the 7th. Pitch is swung on and fouled. Israel right over the top of that fastball, just a little bit too far out in front as he was salivating at that pitch.
Down to their final strike, 0-2 with 2 outs, runners on the corners here.
Suspense really building up to this point. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 2 runners on. Pitch is fouled away. We'll do it again. Should Israel work a walk or work his way on base, Cole Rankin awaits on deck. The lefty Israel waits with the bat on his shoulder as Sanchez comes set and deals. Pitch is grounded over to the second baseman. That is Kean, who controls it, and he makes the play. So the suspense really built up there towards the end, and finally it is cut down. The Lumberjacks are going to drop this one. 12-10 will be the final score on what a game, a roller coaster of one at that. Nick Jimbalvo steals the show. And with that loss, looks like the Grizzly will drop down to 5-6. The Lumberjacks improved to 7-6 on the year. They remain in 3rd place of the standings. What a game here today. It seemed like forever ago that it started, and just how many different players entered the game and how much happened throughout the course of the game. Just a roller coaster of a ride. 14 hits for the Lumberjacks to give them their 12 runs. 8 hits for the Grizzly to give them their 10. Bunch of defensive miscues, 4 errors for the Lumberjacks, 2 for the Grizzly, and again, Nick Jimbalvo stealing the show with 5 hits, hitting for the cycle, and the Lumberjacks are going to win en route to their 7th victory of the year.
I would be pressed to say that that's probably the first cycle in the California Winter League history. The winning pitch will be Silva after going 119 pitches, 6 innings pitched, 7 hits, 9 runs, 4 earned, 7 strikeouts, 5 walks. Losing pitcher, unfortunately, Nick Kreutzer. Not really a pitcher, as we mentioned. He pitched a total of 2 innings, but only got credit for about 1 as they rolled over the inning. Couldn't get it out. He pitched 51 pitches, 9 hits, 5 runs, all of them earned, 2 strikeouts and 2 walks. And he will take the loss today as the Lumberjacks win 12-10.
What a wild ride we had. It was a fun one from start to finish. For Andres Tejeda, I am Mitch Glessner. We will sign off here in Palm Springs. Tomorrow we will have more action, another double dip as always. That'll be the Palm Springs Power and the British Columbia Bombers. Circle that one on your calendars tomorrow. The 1 and 2 teams in the standings column will battle it out in Game 1 with the Grizz and the Chill in Game 2. That'll do it for us here in Palm Springs, 12-10 the final. We will see you all again tomorrow here in Palm Springs. Have a great rest of your day, everyone.